This is my extended thoughts for my number 9 of top 10 changes I want to see in Disney Infinity 3.0 in the toy box. So number 9 is, I guess you could describe it as bulk actions with toy pieces, particularly probably, well, for anything, but I mean blocks is the obvious example. The idea that we can place a complex group of blocks, say you're creating a simple block art design of some type, and the ability to do actions to those things using a group tool would be invaluable. It might be things like simply moving it. You've built it in a certain area and you want to move that whole structure 3 block spaces to the left. The idea that you can simply drag a box to highlight all those things and move it in one action would save so much time. But there's other advantages to it as well. Maybe you want to apply a texture, like a color change to those particular things. Well, the ability again to highlight a group of objects and then go apply this theme to all those ones that I've selected, it just makes sense and would make toy box building so much more enjoyable. I don't know how many times I've built a complex structure and it's like, well, that's not in the right place anymore due to the natural progression. And yes, granted, that's probably good enough reason alone to spend an amazing amount of time pre-working out your toy box, but that's not like how I work. I like to get in, get dirty, and, you know, just start placing stuff. But at the moment, I actually think it's easier just to completely delete a structure that you've built and just rebuild it, rather than moving it one block at a time. And that simple grouping feature would actually help with that a lot. I guess in the true sense of extended thoughts, how can we extend that concept? I guess the ability to lock objects together. So selecting certain ones and then grouping them so that they will stay together until such time that you say to ungroup, so to speak. Group ungroup, a very common, you know, feature in most design programs such as Illustrator and so on. That would be nice, because then as you're building you can effectively glue them together and then you don't have to think about, oh, now I've got to regroup that lot. It's just, you know, built in. It's like, excellent, I can just move that as a single piece now. That would be amazing. I don't know, there's honestly, it's a pretty simple concept. Perhaps you can help me to expand on this one in the comments. Let me know what you think, but ultimately I think this is something we have to get ASAP, because it really is something that is going to take a lot of headaches out of the toy box building process. And just again to clarify, I think this should apply to everything, like Creativa toys. You can group, effectively glue anything to anything. It would also help, but I've got a solution for this further on in one of my top 10s, but it would also help if you could then sort of almost have things like logic gates and stuff automatically sort of attach themselves to whatever they've been attached to, so that when you move it, it also moves those Creativa toys that have been attached at the same time. That would also be extremely helpful, because obviously, doesn't that make sense? You've connected it, you want that to be accessible or at least recognizable that it belongs to that piece, so that should auto glue. Maybe there's an option that you can set that as you're building something, it auto is grouping them together, so you're removing the step of having to do it post. You can just set it, as I build this, please make this all part of one group. I don't know, there's many ways we can achieve this, but ultimately I think that's a great great addition that we would love to see. So that's my number 9. Let me know in the comments what you think. We will discuss it in a future episode of the Inside Infinity podcast. Thank you for watching.